When it was all said and done, were you pleased overall with that project?
Yeah, I was pleased with what I put out and what I did. I wasn't pleased with what, with the results. When I look back, I'm not pleased. But at the time, it was like, okay, we good. Let's do this next album. And they wanted me to do a bunch of, commercial type records, another What You Want. But I let the press get to me. Like I was an MC. So I was seeing the press. Nas was getting, Mobb Deep was getting like, the rhymes, the grittiness, the street feel. And I wanted that because that's
Right.
really what I came from. I did that shit to get on. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, I could do that too. So, but I could also do it with some political and some other shit to it, mixed with it. And we went in and we did Cloud Nine.
Yeah, what adjustments did you make going into Cloud Nine? What did you learn from the first album, going to the second album that you might have adjusted and said, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go this route. How did you make adjustments going into that album?
Just about everything. And it wasn't smart. I was like, they were like, if it's not broken, why are you trying to fix it? Like we had 3 What You Want type records that probably would have been super successful if I would have just did them. But I was like, nah, I got this shit. I got to make something more. I got to take something. Even if it kind of want to do that. And I want to do, you a Lion King talking about, it was like, why you want to go this way? Like I was like, this is just where I'm at. I want to be different, Even though I saw everybody else with the champagne glasses, Biggie was like Versace. He said he's watching you. I'm plugging you.
Yeah, we're talking about 96 now.
Right. So I wanted to just be on some, in the land of the free, in the home of the brave. I still feel like a slave. While this nigga's going Versace, he said, baby, man, the girls is loving it. Girls wasn't feeling what I was, So I just, my ego and also a lot of, personal shit, like having money for the first time. Like I was making bread. I had money before, but not like this, not legally, not coming in the way this money was coming in. So it
Right.
was different. You start bugging out. You start thinking your shit don't stink. You don't listen to people that's trying to help you or tell you need to make this move and at least do a couple songs like this. And me coming from the hip hop that I came from and the attitude of the hip hop people I grew up around was fuck that, do your thing, do you, man. All that dumb shit. So
Right.
I ended up rejecting all of that, and I knew the label wasn't feeling Cloud Nine. They wasn't really even trying to put the album out until I came in there with Lion King. Lion King was the last record I did for that. They said we need a single, so I went and made Lion King. They lost their mind. They was like, oh my God, this is what we want from you. This is what you should have been doing, And so I ended up doing that, but the label was on its way out by then. They
How so?
folded.
Yeah. How was it that they were on their way out? What did you see going on within the label?
Well, we already heard the rumors that they were selling the artist to Arista, the catalog. Now, we met this guy who was the A&R of Arista. He came to me and he said, Profile is being absorbed by Arista, so you're going to be on a major. So all this is good news to us. He was like, yo, I'm really interested in just you, Smooth the Hustler, and Camp Low. Y'all guys are going to be our focus. We're going to sign. We're going to revamp this thing. We're going to get you guys on your, treat you the way you should be treated. You guys make hit reggae. You're great. We're going to love it. So we were, woo! And they ended up going to court with Profile, fighting over the Run DMC catalog, which took 4.5 years. For me, I can't speak for nobody else, but for me, in those 4.5 years that went by while I was stuck on this label, you heard, y'all been eating long enough now. Stop being greedy. Get to the nut. Don't make it right.
DMX. Right.
And you heard, all I care about you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was no longer special. Because now there's dudes who've not only adapted the style that I introduced to the music, but actually had a better support team around them directing them. See, there was no image for Nine. I was just that dude with the voice who could make all kind of records and rap. I hadn't found myself yet. When DMX came out, who I love, by the way, a lot of people think that I got such a problem. I know he borrowed shit. He knows it. It's not even no sugarcoating this shit. He freestyled to any MC. He didn't sound like this before me. He sounded like, Sticky Fingers. If you go listen to the Natural record he did with Mike Geronimo or Born Loser, he does not sound like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not, he bit my style. No, he did what hip hop does. He realized that he had the same resonation in his voice, and he could achieve the same notes and sounds, and he woke up and started to do it. It's not biting. This is what hip hop is. There'd be no Dana Dane if he never heard Slick Rick. There's a lot of people who you could say sound like, you know what I mean? Their voice might not sound the same, but their rhyme patterns, you can't get shit past me. If you take somebody's rhyme pattern, even if your voice is different, I'll be like, you took his rhyme pattern. You adapted it, you grew up, but that's what hip hop is. People think, no biting. It's not biting. You hear shit and I used to rhyme with a brush in my hand in front of the mirror like I was Rakim. Did I get flows? Hell yeah. Did I use them in my? Hell yeah. I was trying to be like this incredible guy right here.
Right.
I didn't want to bite, but I'm adding my shit to his shit to make me better. So, I didn't take it like that at the time. I just thought it like, damn, my style's getting raped. And this fucking guy is really good. He got an image. There's an Earl Simmons in every neighborhood. No matter where you go in the world, there's an Earl Simmons. There's a deer, that troublemaking nigga who get drunk, act wild, but you love him. Right. You don't mean no harm, but so he had a story and an image, and I had none of that. So when he came and I wasn't on the level publicity-wise that he, even when he first came. So now I'm panicking. I'm like, oh man, this dude, people are starting to say, I was getting phone calls from people like, yo, I love your new shit. Get at me, dog. It's crazy. I'm like, yo, that's not me.
Oh, wow.
So, to him, this is probably a joke. And because he never got it. But like from the moment he came out, I've been hearing this motherfucker's name forever.
Right.
To the point where it's like if somebody said, yeah, man, I'm like, ah! You know what I mean? I used to be in the store with my wife walking around buying shit, and the nigga would be like, yo, you not right? I'd be like, nah. Because I knew his next sentence was like, damn, man, DMX came and took you. You know what I mean?
Right.
This the shit that I was hearing, so it was a really dark time for me.
Where did you find yourself at when it was all said and done after the Profile deal? Creatively and mentally, where was Nine at? Were you almost over the industry? Or
yeah, I was finished until finally Arista got control. I said, well, look, man, just let me go, man. Maybe I can still do something. I've been sitting I did the 24/7 project with Funkmaster Flex and Jesse West. That we had the hit record 24/7. And that deal got nasty, and I couldn't do the deal. I couldn't even be Nine. I had to soften my voice up. Like they were trying to stop me from doing it. It was just real crazy. So by the time Arista contacted me saying that they had control of my contract, they were on the same shit everybody else was. They was like, the DMX is here now. Like, I don't know. Make me a demo. So they gave me a nice little piece. I wouldn't say fantastic, but a nice little piece of bread. And I shaved off everything I could to keep the change. And I turned in some records. They didn't like the records. And I got a release. I was lucky enough to have, and actually I had Fred Davis as my lawyer, which is Clive's son, and he owns the label. So he kind of helped get me the fuck out of there. But then I was sitting there, now we in 2002. By the time this happened, it's 2001 almost, end of two. And I'm sitting there with my hands up like, okay, let me just go make some demos and shop. That's not how it worked no more. I didn't know that. I'm just going to the studio, make some demos. I'm even still going to Flex. He'll play this on the radio. He play a few records. He'll take this to. So I had a deal with J. Core Records in 2001. But then he got arrested for embezzlement and all kind of shit. So I never even got my check. So after that, it was just nasty for me. Like, I was going through personal shit. My relationship was ending. I was engaged, and that shit fell apart. Just a lot of personal shit that you never deal with. When you making music and you're an artist, you do this shit as a child.
Right.
A child's responsibilities is pass your tests in school, make your bed. Like, what else you got? You ain't got no children. You ain't got no fucking rent, no responsibility. You don't have none of that shit. So your mind is free. So once
Right.
your mind now is different, when you making music, it's not the same. You know, you don't know what to do. You don't, you know, your brain, you don't realize how much your emotions and your state of mind come into making music. If you don't feel good and you're not in a good place, you're gonna make fucked up music. So I found
Right.
myself making desperation music.
Mm.
I was desperate. I'm trying to get back on. So what's hot right now? Let me rock like that. Let me get a beat from that. Let me rhyme. Let me, anything. Desperation. And it's worse when you had it and lose it.
Right.
You know, because nobody knows who the fuck you are when you're making demos. I tell these guys even today, sending me their songs, nobody knows who the fuck you are. It don't matter if you fail. But once people know you are and you fail, that failure is like 100 times, it hits you different. You know what I mean? When you fail, because it's failing when you're not, especially when you had it hit. Oh, you fell off. It's the old story. You start doubting yourself. You've seen this
Right.
happen a million times to a million other artists. So it's like, what makes you special? Everybody falls off. Big Daddy Kane fell off. KRS-One
Absolutely.
fell off. If these guys can fall
Abs-
off, what the fuck makes you so special that you can't fall off? So
right.
you start believing. Maybe it's just my ears thinking I'm still good. You
You
know?
talked about making desperation music over the years. Would you say the turning point was when you linked up with Smoke on Records?
That was all desperation music.
Okay.
The turning point, when I was done. 2005, 6, 7, I wasn't even writing. I was finished. From 2004 to 2007, I could give two fucks about hip hop, rapping, or anything. It wasn't until MySpace. Some dude made a fake page of me on MySpace. And my man called me. He was like, yo, there's something now. I was like, what is MySpace? Like, I wasn't into the computer shit, none of that shit. He was like, yo, it's like 800,000 people on that shit, though, man. So we contacted the dude. He said, yo, you didn't have a page. I'm a fan. I just wanted to show you that people still love you out here. And when I saw all the numbers and all of the comments and all of this shit, I was like, well, I'm sitting on a bunch of demos. So I put this little Return to the Heart. Shit wasn't even mixed. I pressed it on CD. Shit sounds terrible, but people was buying it from me. I was selling, they was buying it. So I said, all right, I want to rhyme again. I start feeling it again. You know, so I did what people are gonna hear now when I drop volume 3. I did Ooze volume 2.
Right.
I had volume 1, it never got released. I just released. Then I did Ooze volume 2 in 2007, 2008. And niggas starting to go, yo, I started feeling like I'm still a beast with this pen, with the bars, like, and because I didn't have a catalog, I have the success. I still had some hunger that I don't think, when people ask me why you don't think, well, I'm not. I mean, Rakim was my favorite rapper back then, but they said why you don't think Rakim could go in the studio right now and pull out because the hunger is over. He's a god. How do you make God work? God ain't gonna work hard. He's already God. You know what I
Right.
mean? Big Daddy Kane, he already God. How you gonna make him work? How you gonna? What's gonna excite him to go in that booth again and be? He don't give a fuck. He done did everything you trying to do. I didn't. So I had a hunger and a desire and a willingness to learn and be around dope shit and get crazy that I don't think these dudes had. So once I saw it wasn't gonna be easy, but it was building every time I did it. That's how I ran into Smoke on Records, and I had this Quinine album. And I said, all right, we just gonna put it out overseas, whatever. He gave me a nice piece of bread. So I'm starting to go, okay. You know. So we put that out. And then I just started, continuing to float on. Now the shows started coming again because now I'm an old school retro nigga. Now I got a hit record under my belt. You can still throw my name on the flyer along with 10 other dudes. Because it take 10 of us to pack this motherfucker, but everybody on there had a hit record. Nah, it's real. You ever see them
Right.
old school shows?
Oh yeah,
It be
I
like
still
10
support.
motherfuckers on there. You be like, damn, how these niggas, and they all got like 8 minutes, 6 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
You like, how the fuck these niggas gonna, get paid or get, but they like, yo, we gonna pack this place in because we got all these old school. So I started moving around and, doing that. And that shit was fun for a while. From like 2010 to like 2016, 17, it was all old school shows. I say 16. Because, by that time, I ran into the Snowgoons.
Right.
And
Can you take me back how that meeting happened? I'm sure over the internet, but can you take me back to what
right,
initially
they
took
actually
place?
hit me. They hit me right after they did their first album with MOP, which I think was 2012, 2011, maybe earlier. I'm not sure. I wasn't interested because at that time, when I heard the words "We ain't got no money," it was who are these guys? I had been through so much that if I wasn't getting money up front, I wasn't even trying to. But as I learned the internet and I started finding out who people were and how shit was moving and how things was going, they contacted me again. But this time it was just to do a feature, just a verse on a song they had called "Welcome Back to the '90s" on one of their albums, and it was Sticky Fingers was on the record and my man, for Beat Nuts, these dudes, and I never really was a feature dude, so it was like, yo, I get to rap with some of my contemporaries, my peers. So I said, I got you. So I just spit the verse, sent it to them. And they put the record out. And the YouTube comments was just like, yo, the combination between, and then people who weren't aware that I still was rapping were excited about it. Like, yo, wait. So I was like, wow. And, my new DJ Illegal, shout out Illegal, Deck Keller, DJ Crip, Signature, Snowgoons family, those are my brothers. He was like, yo, let's do an EP. So he started sending me beats, and we're starting to learn each other. Because the first batch of songs we didn't use. I'm notorious for that. Like, I record some shit, but if I listen to it 20 days from now, like, I don't hype myself up. I keep listening, and I listen to what else is going on. And if that dopamine don't get released from my brain like it used to when I hear that record again, that ain't it.
Right.
That ain't it. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing it. So we kept working together. Then they started sending me joints and we found that groove. And I think we made an amazing album. The King album, I'm so proud of it. I'm happy with it. I think it shows that 90s boom bap with that extra seasoning of today. I rhymed with some of the greatest dudes. I got Conway the Machine on the album. Went toe to toe with him. Cool G Rap, Smooth the Hustler, Chris Rivers, Rusty Jukes. Like, I picked dudes that I really wanted to rhyme with and make some really good records. And the King album it wasn't directed as being, all right, we're gonna do a single. There is no single. I barely put hooks on the album. I didn't
Right.
even care about making hooks. It was like a piece of work. Press play and listen down to what it used to sound like and that's what I was able to accomplish with them, and I'm super happy with it.